Today's topic of discussion is 5 major struggles that Africans go through raising kids in the UK, Canada, and the US, abroad generally. This is Temidayo Hawe, a former Coventry University student. Listening to a charge of murder committed on the 27th February 2022, she wept. Oh God, is this my life? Holding the phone in her hand at a police station, she cried and broke down completely, adding how she had let her mom down.
She's not really known to the police. We don't really know too much about her.
Do you understand why you've been arrested?
I'm trying to make this into the...
She is a Coventry University student.
If you look around you, I am sure you will know of a family packing their bags, leaving everything they know behind. The dream of a life, a better life abroad, hoping to give their kids the future they never had. But the journey isn't always as easy as they thought. Today, many of the kids are in prisons, mental homes, some are in the hands of social workers, battling with their parents who win the final battle of ownership. While many others haven't become the success promised while they were emigrating. Welcome to Kenny's page, a tour around the globe and the other side of living abroad. It's not always rosy. Recently, a teenage African child was suing his parents in the UK for stylishly shipping him to Nigeria to live and survive far away from his parents and his known society. I am sure we all remember the story. Let's look into some hard realities behind raising kids abroad. My favorite being the 5th one, tagged unending letters or emails forever. Make sure you stick around. The number one is financial struggles. When immigrant families arrive abroad, money becomes their first and forever worry. The parents take jobs that are either tough or time-consuming. God saves you in the UK. In order to meet up with the crying and regular bills, you are on a 12-hour shift, or 14 hours, or even 15 hours. These jobs don't pay much, but you have to work long hours just to keep food on the table and pay rent. Yes, pay rent. Sometimes, parents have to work 2 jobs or 3 jobs, leaving very little time to spend with their kids. One of my old managers used to say, Kenny, you don't have to do this. In the West, you must do these things to survive. On top of that, many send money back home to help their relatives. This makes it even harder to save money for their own family, their choice though. The parents thereof feel tired and sad because they are missing important moments with their kids. But they keep going. They keep on going this way nonetheless. The second point I'm looking into today is lost identity. Have you asked why Africans are hell-bent in retaining the African old values and customs? Having tested the waters, many African parents now know and appreciate their old customs and values, oftentimes giving ways to disciplined and responsible adults. Kids raised abroad lack majority of courtesies associated with respect for the elderly, their parents, and the society at large. Not all of them though. Growing up in a new country can be very confusing for kids, unfortunately. They quickly learn British customs or American culture or Canadian way of life, for instance. But their parents often want them to keep the traditions from back home. Sometimes, this creates arguments. For example, kids might want more independence, like their British friends do have, but their parents, African parents' kids, expect them to follow strict rules, strict family rules, I beg your pardon. Kids can feel stuck between these two worlds. They don't know if they belong to their parents' culture or the British or American culture. This can make them feel lost and unsure of who they truly are. Many parents think the hard part of parenting is about school runs. Kindly wait till you have them as teenagers and watch as they stand tall to query your orders, even as you watch on in total helplessness. The third factor here is poor social connection, or discrimination you may want to call it. On a light note, recently, I had asked my daughter to choose between our old school and the current one, in expectation that the old one was where she had her best school experience. I was shocked when she busted into tears suddenly as she recounted her ordeal of discriminations and how she was usually left alone. We did not have an idea of any of what she was talking about. After calming her down with cool words of reassurances, something told me inside of me that these kids don't belong here. Simple. Sometimes you hear hurtful words or feel like you are treated differently because of your look or how you speak. For kids, school can be hard if they are bullied for their accents or their clothing or traditions. This has been encountered severally. Parents often don't know how to help their kids in this instance because they are still learning how schools work in their chosen country abroad. It breaks their heart, however, to see their kids being hurt, but they feel helpless. Another factor is the fact that there is no resting time for parents. Oftentimes, African parents think the large part of parenting ends at school runs, as mentioned earlier. How long can you be? The older the kids get, the harder the job of ensuring they are properly tamed in the right way. For a girl child, for instance, you don't want her to lose it so easily to peer pressures. Experiences have shown that girls in the West become mothers as early as 14, 15, 16, or 18. Something considered a misnomer in many homes of Nigeria or even Africa at large. You are expected to be well-schooled or to have fashioned out some ways into self-care and personal responsibility before putting up with another responsibility of childbearing. For a boy child, on the other way around, gang crime is your focus. Many parents have always argued that they have relocated abroad because of their kids. Personally, I doubt this. Primarily, many have relocated abroad for their own goods, to further explore what the society has deemed a success in itself, and fulfill that aspect of them wanting to live in a more developed system. I mean, who doesn't want a good thing? This is quite controversial though, and a topic for another day. And the last one that I promised you, unending letters and protocols. You see, while I was in Canada, receiving letters and phone calls from kids' school was something considered too burdensome by me and many of my colleagues alike. Little did I know that Canada is an apprentice in letter writing when compared to the great United Kingdom. While registering your kids in school, and you're asked for your email, which you gladly drop. Little did you know that if your child coughs, they will email you. If your child misses an assignment, you will get an email. If your child is late in school, an email. An argument in school, an email. A roadblock, an email. A repair of whatever in school or around school, an email. A new principal, an email. Doing well in school, an email. Not doing well in school, an email. Meeting up certain values, an email. Not meeting up the same values, an email. School bulletin of this, school bulletin of that. They will finish your life with emails. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying these correspondences are bad. But as fond adults from a different world, you will get overwhelmed, mixed with a very long shift of down to dusk to survive. Anyway, living abroad with your kids is cool, as everyone shall account for his own decision and the abiding consequences thereof. This is not a comparison to, do you mean it is better to raise them back home? No, not at all. At all. I am not in that game of comparing where is better, which is better, what is better, not at all. Rather, I am enumerating the abiding challenges of raising your kids in the West. Obviously, I couldn't cover all the possible challenges in one video, not even in 10 videos, as experiences differ. You may as well drop what you consider the most difficult encounter of raising kids in the part of the world you're watching me from. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next audio of life.